Hi, this is Debbie Vornholt with Commonsense Landlording. I'm going to revisit the question, what do I do when my tenant wants to move out early? I did a shorter version of this, so this is going to be a little bit longer explanation. The first response is always know what your lease says. I recommend that you have a clause in your lease that states exactly what happens when the tenant wants to be released from their lease before the end of the term. Understand that the lease is a legally binding document. So if they've signed a 3-year lease and they want out 6 months into the lease or 12 months into the lease, they are on the hook for the total balance of the rest of the term. They just are, and you can go after them for that within reason. That being said, most areas require you to mitigate your losses. And let's face it, we can't lock them in the house and forbid them to leave the property. So they're going to move whether you tell them they can or they can't. So the next thing is, what is in your best interest as the landlord or the property manager? What do you do? So what I recommend is sitting down and talking with these people. I always recommend having a conversation before things get adversarial, because then it never turns out well. And the conversation usually goes something like this. Understand that you're responsible for the lease until the end of the term. I recognize you have a new opportunity and you want or need to move. That being said, I am willing to try to get the house or the apartment, whatever, rented as quickly as possible. I cannot make you any promises. I cannot tell you how quickly I can rent this property. And I do normally recommend that you go ahead and move out and make sure that you leave it as rent ready as possible, because if I have to go in and make repairs, then it's going to take more time and it's going to cost you money. It will come out of your security deposit, and then you will be sent a bill for anything that exceeds the security deposit. But I want to help you out. I want to get the property rented. So there's a lease break fee of, and know what that is. I usually charge 2 months rent, and it's a lease break fee. It is not 2 months rent. So when they actually move out, that gives you a 2 months cushion, and I usually require forfeiture of the deposit as well. So know the laws in your area and know what you are allowed to do and what you are not allowed to do, because what I may be telling you may not be legal in your area. But again, lease break fee of whatever you want, and then I make them forfeit the security deposit. Then the deal is they move out and leave it as rent ready as possible. And it works out really well for me most of the time. And then I go ahead, put a lockbox on it. Most of you know I don't go show property. I use a lockbox system to show the property. And then I proceed just like I normally do with a vacant property. The tenant's moved on, and then I have the opportunity to put a new tenant in the property. So that's how I handle that, typically speaking. So for more landlord tips, check out Commonsense Landlording on Facebook.